welcome back to the channel and welcome to the live stream. And if you are new here, welcome to the live stream, your first ever live stream over here on the channel. Definitely hit that like button, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. You definitely will not regret it. I do a lot of great content over here, and there's a lot of future content being planned that I am working on. And yeah, just you don't want to miss the ride. So, you see the title of today's discussion. We're gonna be talking about Recast T'Challa. We're gonna be getting into your thoughts. What do you guys think about this new rumored report? And we might as well get into that. So last night, it was dropped by Jeff Sneider, who is a insider. He's credible on some ends he hasn't been credible, but for the most part, he's been kind of credible. So it was reported that Marvel Studios has plans to recast T'Challa for the Avengers films, Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, as well as Black Panther 3. Now, when this report came out, it took the internet by storm. The recast T'Challa hashtag definitely showed up as well. And so, with that, this really got me thinking. And shout out to Chillmonger, the Dre Max Show, Fatal J, everybody that I was in the stream with last night. If you guys don't know what I'm referring to, I did a live stream, went on to Chillmonger's channel, and kind of chatted up about this recast T'Challa rumor as far as what we know or what's been reported of. And it was a really good live stream. Really enjoyed it. It was really great being able to talk with other people about this topic. That really means a lot to me, and I've expressed many times why this topic means a lot to me. So again, I'm just very much curious as far as the direction that they take with Recast T'Challa. I want this to be something that they take seriously, something that's really well thought out, and not something they just put together. So I'm hoping that's what they do. I'm going to get into your comments, what you guys are saying. What's up, DJ Knight? Hey, can't wait. This should be interesting. Yeah, this is definitely going to be an interesting stream. Let's see. Janine, what's up, Janine? I went to see this. Really enjoyed the Deadpool movies and most of the movies. Yeah, Deadpool. Yeah, I decided like Deadpool Wolverine. I was like, I got to put something to kind of keep you guys, entertained as the stream starts. So I thought that was just kind of like the perfect little video to put on, while we're talking Marvel. So let's see. Good. I hope you're doing good. Awesome. But yeah, so like I said, we got the report last night from Jeff Sneider that Marvel Studios is reportedly going to recast T'Challa for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars and also Black Panther. And I wanted to give my thoughts on this because you guys know I'm like someone who's like very invested in the recast T'Challa movement. This character means a lot to me in a lot of different ways. Like I said, when Chadwick Boseman passed away, I was very, saddened and disappointed, but also at the same time, I wanted this character to continue, and I want the legacy of T'Challa to continue because he's a very essential and very important character, in Marvel history, in Marvel comics, and as well should be in the MCU. So I hope that Marvel can take into liberty as to what people are saying about this because this isn't just something that they're just saying. This is a lot of people who want to see this character and the stories continue because there's so many stories they can do, so many stories to be told. So again, that's how I feel on it. So yeah, I'm curious about what you guys think about Recast T'Challa. How do you guys feel about it? How do you guys feel the direction is going to go into? Do you think we're gonna see a T'Challa from the multiverse? Do you think we're gonna see a T'Challa being brought back from the dead? Do you think they're gonna go another route? Could we see him from another alternate universe, like maybe Fantastic Four's universe? Which shout out to the stream again, Showmonger stream. Black Panther's first appearance was in a Fantastic Four comic. And I think that would be something really cool, really special to kind of reminisce and kind of bring some of that, comic book lore into that if they decide to do that. So again, that's another route they could go. And again, this is just a really curious point for me. And I'm just really curious as far as what they decide to do because there's so many different ways they could go about bringing him back. And again, a lot of people want to see him brought back, me included. I really want to see him come back. Let's see. I'm at the point where I do agree with this. Like, yeah, and again, I know people are going to have different opinions on the subject. Some people are going to want them to continue. I'll give an example. So I was in a Discord last night when the news dropped, and I voiced my opinion about how I think they should recast T'Challa, and they should have recasted him a while ago. I had a lot of people come at me in the stream saying, "Oh, what are you talking about? We got his son. We got Shuri. She's the new Black Panther." And I want to make this clear because, when people say that they want T'Challa as Black Panther, a lot of people misconstrue what, we say when we say that. They're like, what do you mean? You don't want Shuri to be Black Panther? And let me make this perfectly clear. No one is saying that. All we're saying is if you wanted to have Shuri be Black Panther, if you wanted to do that, you could have had T'Challa and Shuri both be Black Panther, both be dope siblings, and do the missions and all the different storylines you could do with that if you wanted to go that route. I think killing off one to kind of elevating another one is not a good idea, and personally, I didn't think it was a good idea. Like I said, I've mentioned it before, but I've only seen Wakanda Forever one time, and I didn't even go to the theaters to go see that. I waited for it to come on Disney Plus, watched it one time, and never watched it again. I just refused to watch that movie. I don't like what they did with the movie. I don't like what they did with T'Challa, and it's just a movie, like I said, I refuse to go back and watch it. And it seems like maybe Marvel kind of sees, like, okay, that wasn't the right call for us to make. That wasn't the right idea for us to continue making this film and not really think it through. I really don't think that they really thought it through. And again, you can honor the legacy of Chadwick Boseman. You can always honor the legacy by recasting the character and keeping that character going. Imagine again, think about it this way. Imagine if we never got any more Superman movies. Imagine how detrimental that would be. Because Superman is one of DC's most popular characters of all time. He is the guy in a lot of people's eyes. And so imagine a world where they decided not to do any more Superman movies, not to do any Superman games, not to have Superman in any animated projects, all because of an actor passing. You take away a fan base that loves this character, that is dedicated to this character, only to build up another character who is a son of that character. I just don't think that's a good idea. They don't do it with Superman. They never did it with Superman. There is no Clark Kent Jr. Like, why would you do that? Like, to me, again, that just takes away from the legacy character that you have. So that's why I say this is important to keep T'Challa going. This is important to keep other characters going. Even though a beloved actor has passed away, and yes, you're going to have those moments where you're like, will this other actor perform? Will this other actor be better? Will this other actor be worse? And again, this is Hollywood. Hollywood is all about taking risk. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it does not. But that does not mean that you have to give up on a character because of that. You keep it going. And that's, again, I will always ride with Recast T'Challa, and that's how I feel. So I kind of want to hear your guys' thoughts about the news. What do you guys feel about Recast T'Challa? What do you guys feel about the news about T'Challa maybe coming back? I kind of just want to hear your guys' thoughts. And I'll voice mine still in between, but I'm just curious. I mean, like, think about also, while talking about Superman, like, that Superman trailer. Imagine just seeing, like, if you go online and see all the reactions to the Superman trailer, people were getting emotional. People were legit crying over the Superman trailer. Can you imagine having a Black Panther trailer and they do a surprise reveal of who Black Panther is? Do you not think that there won't be any big hype over that? Do you not think that there won't be people reacting to it and crying and getting emotional because of the fact that this character lives on? Like, again, if you can do it with Superman, you can do it with Black Panther, you can do it with T'Challa. You know, to me, I don't see any excuse in it. Um, and yeah, I would love to see some kind of, you know, if Marvel is planning to do this, I would love to see some kind of reveal that really does kind of show, you know, legit, like, okay, we are keeping this character going, we are keeping this legacy going. Let's see, Superman's son name is Jonathan Kent after his Earth father. Yeah, like okay, like yeah, like you said, like you do that, right? Like he's not Clark Kent Jr., he's Jonathan Kent. So he's a different character, you know what I mean? So instead of doing T'Challa Jr. like they did in Wakanda Forever, they could have, you know, like I said, they could have just recasted T'Challa from the get-go, or again, they could have waited to make the movie, you know, when they felt ready, because I know that was like another thing in the Discord server that I was in, that like, oh, you're being selfish. You're just being a fan by saying you want T'Challa recasted. And again, that's not the case. You know, if the cast needed time, you know, you didn't need to rush out and make a movie, you know, kind of benefit. I wouldn't say benefiting, but in a way, it kind of does feel like you did benefit off the death of an actor to me, and kind of going a similar route to their passing. It kind of feels like you were kind of benefiting off that, and again, that's just from my perspective. Not everybody's gonna agree with that, and like I said, like just take a break, sit down, really think about it. Like, okay, we want to continue this character, we want to continue the legacy. Who do we see? Like let's get a list of actors, because there's a lot of great black male actors out there that can really do something with that role. You got the guy from Cross, Aldous Hodge. You got the guy from Snowfall. Like there's many different actors that you could go about, you know, listing a cast of and just seeing like, okay, where do we go from here? And go with that. Take time to cook that story up. Take time to, maybe if you want to, add a little bit of that hard liberty into honoring Chadwick, but again, still knowing that this is the legacy that we're continuing in his honor, you know? Because I feel like personally, Chadwick Boseman would have wanted that. Chadwick Boseman is the kind of guy who his professionalism, he never let an ego take hit in over his professionalism. Like he understood, you know, if something were to happen to me, the show must go on. And that's, again, a Hollywood thing. The show must go on. If I was in a movie and God forbid something happened to me, I would want someone to continue that role for me. I would want someone to continue that legacy, because now you're giving someone else another opportunity to shine and to take that character to places that maybe I wasn't able to get to. That's why this is such an important thing. Let's see what you guys are saying. Maybe Denzel Washington as T'Challa. I mean, I don't know if they would do that. I mean, it could be interesting. I don't personally see it, but again, maybe if they want to go for an older T'Challa, that's a possibility. But honestly, I would love to see Denzel, because to me, Denzel's the kind of character that you would, kind of actor that you would want him to play someone with some power, with some authority. And not saying that him being Black Panther isn't that. It's just I see something more of like a god role, something more of, again, something with more power and authority. And I just feel like, you know, again, if there was some way he could play someone who could bring back T'Challa from the dead, or maybe he has some ties to the multiverse in some way, and he knows of a T'Challa, and he could maybe be able to bring that T'Challa into this universe, I think that to me would be a better role fit for him, in my opinion. The new Black Panther. Michael B. Jordan as T'Challa. I don't think so. I don't think that's a good idea, because for one, Michael B. Jordan is already Killmonger, and in my honest opinion, Killmonger should stay Killmonger. He shouldn't be the new Black Panther. Which I know a lot of people could kind of see that because with Wakanda Forever they had that scene with him and Shuri talking, but I feel like that's more of a again Killmonger type thing instead of T'Challa should have been in that scene if they really wanted to, T'Challa should have been in that scene. You didn't even have to show his face if you didn't have anyone casted. All you would have to do is just show someone in the suit. Literally, someone could just wear the suit and maybe just hear them talk and leave people up to the discussion. Okay, who is this? Who is this character? Like, maybe that's a way that you could tease whoever, if they are going to bring him back. That could be the way to tease who the actor is. Maybe people could go on the search hunt of, okay, who is this actor? So, again, there's many different ways they could have gone about doing this. And they chose, in my opinion, they chose kind of the cop out way. This is fantasy. This is the comic books. Characters die and come back alive all the time. And people are saying like, "Well, why would you do this? This is real life." Like I get it, but again, these are real life actors who are portraying fantasy characters. If you wanted to do it, you have the power to do it because the source material has done it many times. Many times throughout the source material have characters died. Many popular characters. Spider-Man has died and came back alive. Black Panther has died and came back alive. Jean Grey, some of the X-Men characters have died and came back alive. So again, if you want to do that, you can do that and make it make sense. But yeah, I just don't see Michael B. Jordan as fit for Black Panther. Again, not saying that he won't do a good job. I just don't see it because he's already Killmonger. So for me, it has to be an actor who like Aldous Hodge from Creed, Cross, or like I said, the guy from Snowfall, or again, John David Washington. If you want to do that, because with Denzel, kind of coming out and saying that he's in Black Panther 3, if you wanted to connect the dots with that, you could connect the dots that way. Again, the opportunities and people are out there. It's just about how they decide to go about it. But I think DJ Knight, what are some? Do you have like any actors that you would like to see take on the role of Black Panther? Uh, Again, like that's what we're here for. We're here to discuss, all of this because you know, yes, Marvel is this big company, and yes, it's owned by Disney, but also at the same time, it's like, you know, we do have some right to, we do have some right to, give a bit of some feedback and an opinion, whether they take it or not. But still, we still have some voice, and again, a lot of people have been voicing Recast T'Challa since the death of Chadwick Boseman. A lot of people have. And that's not being insensitive towards him. Like, we still honor and respect and give our flowers to Chadwick Boseman for what he's done, not just with Black Panther, but also with his other roles. Because people forget, this is an actor. He's done very different roles. He's played James Brown. He's done Thurgood Marshall. He's played Jackie Robinson. He's played a cop. He's played sort of like a John Wick type character. Like he's done many different roles. So you can again respect the actor and respect what they've done, but also continue that. Definitely, um, Janine, I don't know if you're joking, but it definitely won't be any of those because again, this is a African American character, so it has to be someone who's African American who plays this role and can play it well. Okay, no, Michael B. Jordan. Another black actor I had not heard of. Well, yeah, like I said, because to me, it would be too confusing for the audience to be like, well, wait a minute, wasn't he Killmonger? Why is he Black Panther? Why are they doing that? Like, I no, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see T'Challa be replaced for Killmonger. Killmonger should stay Killmonger. T'Challa should be T'Challa, not his kid grown up. And now they're gonna say, "Oh, oh, you guys got T'Challa now. He's all grown up. He. This is the kid." No, it has to be someone who, again, they cast. They take the time to cast him and make him T'Challa. That, like, to me, that's the only way it works, in my opinion. Not the kid, not Killmonger. Recast. But then the other question becomes like, okay, so where are they going to have Black Panther 3 take place? Is it going to be after Secret Wars? Is it going to be before Doomsday and Secret Wars? Because to me, you could bring him in Doomsday and Secret Wars, but in my opinion, it's gonna be sort of that thing where it's just like, okay, we got a Black Panther. He's just in here now, like he's just here. Like we need some backstory to him before we see him because it would make a lot more sense in the context of we already know who this Black Panther is. We already know to some degree where he's from, what universe he's resided in, and how he ends up getting into the 616 universe or Battle Worlds or wherever they decide to make, Doomsday and Secret Wars take place. Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is, in my opinion, I'm not saying that Jamie Foxx can't do it, but I just feel like Jamie Foxx is someone who, again, he's talented. I'm not gonna knock him. I like Jamie Foxx. He's hilarious. He's talented. He's a great singer, a great actor. But I just feel like I don't feel like Jamie Foxx is fit for the role. I just personally don't see him fit for the role. So yeah, but Jamie Foxx is, Spawn. I don't know if that's still going on. If they're still gonna do that. I mean, there was like a script for what King Spawn with Todd McFarlane. I don't know if they're still gonna do that. I guess that's still in development, but there were rumors about him playing Spawn at some point, but I don't know if they're still gonna do that or not. Where can I see Black Panther? On Disney Plus. It's on Disney Plus if you have it. Because I know Janine, you're a little bit older, so it's gonna be on Disney Plus, and that's where you can watch it. At this point, I think Spawn is happening. Yeah, I hope so. Spawn is another character that I feel like is very underrated. You don't really you don't really hear too many people talk too much about Spawn, but I think Spawn is a very interesting character. And I like last year or maybe 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. It was on HBO Max. I don't know if it's still on HBO Max now because Max is removing a lot of animated shows, which that's a video I talked about. I talked about that in a recent video if you guys want to check that out. But Spawn the animated series, I binged watched that entire show probably like 2 times. And it just got better and better each time I watched it because there was so much that they did with that series at that time. They didn't they really took a lot of risks and they weren't afraid to get dark. They weren't afraid to do darker stories, which Spawn is a character who has a lot of dark themes within it. So I really do appreciate them not shying away from the dark themes and elements that go on in the world of Spawn. And I hope that with this movie they continue that. They show like what Spawn has been through, the things that he's had to deal with because it's a very hard dark story what happens to him. And I just hope with the Spawn movie they don't try to, you know, shy away from that because people do need to know about that. They do need to be aware. All good, Janine. I'll see you later. I hope you enjoyed. But yeah, I was watching John Campia's stream today, and he was talking about the recast T'Challa thing too. Again, a lot of people are now starting to kind of talk about recast T'Challa and whatnot. There's been a lot of channels that have been starting from the beginning talking about it, but just kind of interesting how there are, more and more channels who are kind of talking about it a little bit more now. So it does seem like maybe, I mean, a lot of people have been saying it's been time, but maybe it really is legit time for them to recast this character because a lot of people are discussing it. A lot of people are talking about it. And from what I've been hearing, a lot of people seem to be on board with the idea. And like I said, I've been on board, off rip. You can talk in, what are you saying? X double L? What are you saying? What's up, Chillmonger? I've been the one saying it's been time. Yeah, he's been the one who's been saying it this whole time. Like seriously, Chillmonger, he's been a big advocate, a big supporter of Recast T'Challa. He's done many live streams, many videos on the matter. So definitely go subscribe and check out his content. You won't be disappointed. And like I said, I really do appreciate you having me on the stream last night. It was really, really fun, really appreciative being able to just sit down and have this conversation with you, Fatal J, Dre Mac, Tori, and everybody. It was just really cool. Yeah, I don't trust Jeff Sneider or John Campia because the Batman in the DCU rumors. Yeah, and that's understandable. Which to me, that's another discussion. But I really don't want Matt Reeves' Batman to be a part of the DCU. Like they really do need to keep that separate because again, if you include him in the DCU, that pretty much cancels out DC Elseworlds because now more people will say like, well, okay, if Matt Reeves, Batman can now be a part of this, how about we get Teen Titans Go now? How about we get Harley Quinn now? How about we get all these other projects in that universe now? Because now you kind of take away the essence of the DCU and DC Elseworlds. So they need to keep those separate. It's okay to have separate things. Not everything needs to be this wide world connected universe. It's okay to have separate things for separate brands. Oh, you're from Russia, double X double L. Well, welcome. What's up, Parker? What's up, Parker? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. We talking recast T'Challa, the rumor that's going around. How do you guys feel about it? I want to hear your honest thoughts and theories. How do you guys think he's gonna be brought back? How would you like to see him be brought back? Also, I had to wear purple today because we talking T'Challa purple. I thought it made sense. Um, I was gonna talk Captain America: Brave New World, because I feel like that's something I definitely want to dive into at some point. But when this news dropped, I was like, nah, I gotta talk about this. Like, this is something very important. Not to say that that isn't important, but um, this was a very big, shocking thing that dropped. So I was like, I have to talk about this. What's he talking about? I don't understand. So we're pretty much talking about recast T'Challa, X double L, and that given our opinions and things of that nature about it. I also like Shuri's Black Panther, and again, that's understandable. To me, I personally like. I just I'm not a fan of Shuri as Black Panther. Again, not saying that she would be a bad Black Panther, but again, I feel like personally, if you wanted to do this, you could have had T'Challa and Shuri both be a Black Panther. One who T'Challa, he's more of the street smarts, the stealthy guy. He's got the intelligence, but he's also got the bronze. You could have had Shuri, who's more on the technological side of things. She knows about technology and all these different aspects. Like each, you could have had two Black Panthers, both good for certain situations and scenarios if you wanted to do that. Hey there, I think this is great news. They should recast T'Challa. Yeah, I agree. They need to. Who is T'Challa? T'Challa is the character who is Black Panther. He is the character of Wakanda. He's the guy. So that's who T'Challa is. This is who all of this has been built up around. It hasn't been built up around all the other characters of Wakanda. T'Challa really is the heart and soul of Wakanda. And without him, you don't have Wakanda in my opinion. You don't have Wakanda without T'Challa. So he's the heart and soul of it all. Which mystery actor was big enough to turn down the role? See, that's a good question. I wonder who it is because for them to turn it down, what was their reasoning behind turning it down? Was it because they felt like they weren't able to maybe perform as good as Chadwick? Which again, Hollywood is all about taking risks. You don't know until you try. So if this actor felt like he wouldn't have been able to perform better than T'Challa, he wouldn't know if he didn't at least try because again, you never know. So I'm kind of curious too. I hope it comes out who it is. I really don't understand. Okay, bro, I'm sleeping. All good. All good. I think Will Smith. I don't know. No. No. It can't be Will Smith. I'm sorry, but no. Cuz T'Challa and I'm not trying to make it about that, but I'm going to go there. Will Smith, he's a lighter skinned actor. I think personally, and I'm going to go there. A darker skinned actor should be playing T'Challa. Because if you look in the comics, if you look in the source material, he's not drawn with lighter skin. He's drawn with melanin skin. And melanin actors deserve to have their role shown. There's been a lot of cases where there's been melanin actors in a role only for them to get replaced by a lighter skinned person. And again, I'm not trying to make it about that, but it's been happening a lot. If you guys seen The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, we had original Aunt Viv, darker skinned melanin woman. Then she got replaced by a lighter skinned woman, which to no disrespect. That lighter skinned woman, she did what she had to do as an actor. But that's happened a lot of times, and I don't want that to be the case here. It needs to be someone who has the melanin dark skin. That's just how I feel. That's a preference of mine. Which Black Panther was T'Challa in the second? There isn't. T'Challa's in the first movie because they killed T'Challa off in the second movie. So there is no T'Challa in the second movie. If they make another anime project, this would be the perfect time to start an MAU Marvel Anime Universe. I could see that because the X-Men in the 90s had an anime, right? If I remember correctly, I believe they had an anime version of the X-Men, the animated series, in the 90s. So I think that would be kind of cool. Anime is a very popular, you know, franchise, and more and more studios are starting to get into the vibe of anime. So if Marvel wants to do an anime project down the road, I wouldn't be surprised. I could definitely see it happening with the Marvel Animation brand, which is something I want to talk about because there's an interview with Jeff Tramiel, who is in charge of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Marvel doesn't have an in-house, style. So Marvel can pretty much do whatever style of animation they want. So that's why What If looks different, X-Men 97 looks different, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man looks different. So whatever animated project we get next, who knows, maybe it could be an anime project. Maybe it could take on that style. And really, X-Men 97 does take on some of those anime liberties to an extent because they took some influence from, I believe, Akira. I think Akira was some of the liberties they took inspiration from for X-Men 97. When I did that video a while back about maybe X-Men 97 getting a movie, which I would love to see that on screen, but as far as what they're deciding to do with X-Men 97, it's still unknown, so I don't really know. Let's see. I think John David Washington would work since Chadwick knew the Washington family already. Yeah, and that again, that could be a nice bittersweet moment because Chadwick had Denzel in mind when it came to the character. So I could definitely see that being as like a nice way to kind of pass the torch to the Denzel family since that was such a big inspiration for Chadwick Boseman. It's 5:32 a.m. for you in Russia. Wow, you're up pretty early. Yeah, but if he doesn't do a good job, his career is in the toilet. Yeah, that's true, but like I said, Hollywood is all about taking risks. And let's be real, like how many Batman iterations have we had that some have been good, some have been mid, some have just been straight up bad, right? Like they need to continue that with T'Challa because again, you're gonna have actors who are gonna do a good job, and then you're gonna have actors who don't do a good job. It's just all about again taking that risk to see, where things can go. Shuri is beautiful. Yeah, she is. She's very beautiful and again, very intelligent. And that's why to me, I feel like Shuri can still bring something to the table, in her own way. You know what I mean? Off topic, what's your favorite episode of Earth's Mightiest Heroes? My favorite is the one with Ultron because I love Tom King voicing him. I actually haven't watched Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That is something on the list that I do need to watch, though. They're singing Denzel Washington is going to play Black Panther, and I'm like, he's 70 years old. Like, again, like, if they want to go that route with him playing an older Black Panther, I don't know how that. I just don't see how that would work. You know what I mean? It has to be an up and coming young actor who could play this character for years, and I'm talking like years. You know what I mean? Not just like a one and done, not just like a movie here and there and then done. Only for them to recast him over to another actor, which that's going to happen regardless because time waits for no one. But again, you want to have someone who can play this character for a good, you know, 10 to 20 years, I'd say. Mario. Yeah, yeah, Will Smith is light skinned. I just don't see it working. And Sonic in the same movie, probably Sonic 3. I haven't seen Sonic 3 yet, so please don't spoil me on anything. I'm going to go see it this weekend though. But I have heard good things about it. Have you seen the Silver Surfer show? Yeah, I have caught a few episodes of it. I like it. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with Silver Surfer in Fantastic Four. Since you live in Russia, do you have any restrictions on YouTube? Hmm. It's trial and error on who works best. Again, yeah, trial and error. Again, like I said, imagine if they had just said like after Kevin Conroy passed, and Kevin Conroy is still to me the definitive Batman. Like just what he's been able to bring to the Batman character with his voice and the deflection between his Bruce Wayne and his Batman is just something that I will always be in admiration of. But imagine if they had just said like, yeah, we're not gonna do any more Batman animated series, because Kevin Conroy passed away. Imagine how disheartening that would be, and how frustrating that would be, as someone who, as that group of people who are big Batman fans, want to see Batman continue. Like imagine how disheartening that would be. Even though I feel like Batman is oversaturated, I don't get why we have to have 1,001 Batman games and we don't even have a Superman game. We don't have a Teen Titans game. We don't have a Green Arrow game. You know what I mean? Like Batman is a very oversaturated character, and I'm glad with James Gunn's DCU, we are getting some lesser known characters and villains and stuff popping up into his universe, because this gives people more exposure to these characters and not just to the popular ones that we've known for over 50 plus years. You know what I mean? Yeah, I wasn't joking. Half the messages are a translator. Interesting. A lot of people are complaining about the animation Year Friendly of Spider-Man, and I don't see why. It looks fine. Yeah, I honestly like. I get the style that they're going for. I get the style that they're going for, and I see a lot of people complaining about it for a lot of reasons, and I understand. Like, I understand, and again, everybody's gonna have a different opinion. You know, some people are gonna like it, some people are not gonna like what they do. But I'm just gonna, you know, go in with the open mind and kind of give it a chance, because you never know. There might be some hidden gems in it, and that's kind of like a idea mindset I'll always have. Like, try to go into it with an open mind, because again, you never know. There may be some special in there that you might actually come out liking. No trial and error. The no excuse will be Black Panther is too good for error. Yeah, yeah, that's true. The youngest actor that they could find to play Black Panther is 19 years old. I mean, hey, like, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with a 19-year-old playing, but again, he has to be someone who can bring that element. You know what I mean? Someone who is a leader in a fashion. You can't just have someone who's kind of like on the sidelines. He really doesn't have any personality or, you know, range to him. Black Panther T'Challa is a character that I feel needs to have range. We need to see him go places that we haven't seen. You know, as far as movie wise, we haven't seen. Okay, the actor E. Hudson for Ghostbusters to be T'Challa. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. DC should just change their name to Batman Studios at this point, unless the Superman movie is really good. Honestly, I hope the Superman movie is good. I'm hoping it's good, because you know Creature Commandos has been really good, which I am going to watch tonight's episode. I actually am thinking about, if you guys want, maybe I should do a stream tomorrow night, kind of talking about Creature Commandos, what I thought of the show, where certain things could lead further into the DCU. If you guys want to see a stream like that, I could try to get that worked on. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch Creature Commandos tonight. I think Creature Commandos is really good. And DC, you know, like I said, Superman has to carry that torch. You know, when Creature Commandos passes that torch onto Superman in July, they have to deliver. It has to deliver. So far from the trailer, I think it's delivered. But again, you can have a really good trailer, but then the movie just isn't good. It's happened a lot, but again, I have some hope with Superman. I think this time it's going to be different. I think it's going to be good. And I think it's going to be a very emotional movie, that we're going to see Superman go to places. And no, I'm not talking about like a dark, edgy Superman that we've gotten in the past. I'm talking about a light-hearted Superman who he's gone through it all. He's been through his adversity. He's been through a lot of things. And we're going to see him grow even more. And what I love about it even more is the fact that it's not an origin story. You know, it's something that you know, this Superman is probably like a year or two in the game of being Superman. So although he's gonna have some experience, he's still gonna have some hard falls, and he's still gonna, you know, have some of those moments where it's like, well, dang, like I still need to learn how to do certain things and how to handle certain situations. And I appreciate that take, because it reminds me of the Insomniac games with Spider-Man, and that's why those games are so beloved, because we don't need to see Spider-Man's origin story. How many times have we seen that? How many times have we seen the radioactive spider and the Uncle Ben getting shot and the robber that he didn't stop that causes Uncle Ben to die? How many times have we seen that? People don't want to see that anymore. People want to see a developed Spider-Man. And I understand even with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, I understand people's concern and complaint about an adult Peter Parker. Like people want to see that, and I want to see that, and they can make that happen because again, this is the Spider Verse. You know, we've seen different variations of Spider Man throughout many different ages. So I just feel like if they can do that, we can get an older Spider Man series, whether it's animated or live action. It can happen. I think it is going to happen with the popularity of the Hickman run with the Ultimate Spider-Man, which I love that run. It's a breath of fresh air. I think we could see that. And someone shared a picture on Twitter the other day of Andrew Garfield, and he had the beard and he had the haircut sort of like the Ultimate, Peter Parker in Ultimate Spider-Man. And I saw that and I said, if Sony really wanted to, they could really greenlight like an Ultimate Spider-Man movie or a TV series and let that play out on screen. If they wanted to, they really could go that route. Will they though? That's something we'll have to see again. Hollywood is all about possibilities. Never say never. But let me get to your guys' comments. Let's see. You guys talk about Anthony a lot. Does I know you guys say he watches my streams, but I don't really know anything about him. But if you guys want to see maybe a collab with him in the future, I'm down for it. Like I said, this year is going to be the year where I branch out and do more things and kind of get more into different sides of YouTube. So I'm definitely down to collab with some people if you guys want to see that. What do you guys what does that mean? Okay, you guys are just discussing stuff. Is Don your last name? No, it is not. But JaceTheDon is inspiration because I watched a lot of uh, mafia movies, like your Godfather, your Goodfellas, and Don is a term that is used in that. But also, if you look up the phrase Don, Don also means gentleman. So I'd say I'd like to call myself like a gentleman. I'd say, and I try to keep things very professional. So that's why you don't really, that's my brand. Like, keep things professional. Don't try to do all this extra stuff, which is it's never been about that for me. I've never tried to go off of trends and all that stuff because anybody can do that on the internet. But when you make good quality content that means something and you're bringing in a community and more people are coming into that community in a positive manner, I feel like to me that just makes the journey so much more worthwhile. I don't want a toxic community. I don't want any of that. I just want to have a good community where, like right now, all of us can be in the chat and we can just discuss and just talk about, whatever it is. If it's Marvel, if it's DC, if it's wrestling, if it's animation, whatever it is, just talk about it in a respectable manner, in a mature manner. You said Goodfellas is a restaurant here. Interesting. That's cool. So do they have like actual Goodfellas like is it Goodfellas themed there? Like do they actually have like pictures of the movie and stuff like that or is it just the name that they came up with? I'm not going to lie, we do need a dark Spider-Man. And again, that can happen. That can happen down the road. I know there was talks of a Miguel. There was talks of Miguel having his own movie at one point. I don't know if that's still happening. I don't think it is, but there were plans for it. I think Batman is going to fight the old man who fought in the Creature Commandos. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's implied that Doctor Phosphorus and Batman do have some history. We didn't see them fight, but we do know they have some history. So if they want to bring Doctor Phosphorus into a Batman Brave and Beyond. Thinking about Beyond Batman Beyond, which Batman Beyond James Gunn. If you want to do that Batman Beyond animated movie, I think you should, because I think that would be really cool. Terry McGinnis is a character that people love, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys, maybe you guys are wrestling fans, but the voice actor for Terry McGinnis was there. You know, if you guys know Boy Meets World, he played, you know, Corey's brother Eric. And I thought it was kind of weird. I was like, okay, you acknowledged Topanga was there, but I'm like, you got legit Terry McGinnis right beside her. Like you got Corey's brother Eric, like he's right there. So I thought that was kind of weird they didn't acknowledge him, but maybe they maybe they didn't recognize him. I don't know what, but I thought that was a little weird. But you know, well if they recast him, I'm okay with it. Like yeah, you're right. It's not about the extra stuff. Yeah, it's not about the extra stuff. I feel like people come on, you know, try to start YouTube and they think it's about like, okay, what trends can I, you know, hop onto? What, you know, what kind of things can I get attention out of people? And again, you don't have to do that. Like just be yourself, you know, be who you are and people will resonate to you. And I've learned that throughout my journey on YouTube is that, you know, just being your chill self, being who you are, people will rock with you regardless. And again, I say it all the time, but I really do appreciate everybody who, you know, clicks on a video or a stream or a short, or maybe you saw me on TikTok, or maybe you saw me on Instagram at random, you know, whatever it is, just getting, you know, seen, just seeing your reaction, your comments, and, you know, saying like, hey man, when's the next video? When's the next stream? Like, that gives me motivation to keep going. What's your favorite Marvel movie? Okay, so this depends upon like a few things. So are we talking like just strictly Marvel? Are we talking like Sony Marvel? Are we talking like Fox Marvel? Because if we're talking about movie, like favorite movie, that's gonna be tough because like there's so many of my favorite Marvel movies that I love. I could give you maybe like a top five of Marvel movies that are my favorites. What's going on? What's up? We're talking about Recast T'Challa, but right now we're just talking about a few couple things right now. But I'm gonna answer your question about my favorite Marvel movies. So Captain America: The Winter Soldier is definitely up there. Love the action in that movie. Love what they were able to do in that movie. So Captain America: The Winter Soldier will always be my favorite Marvel movie. One of my favorites. Obviously Black Panther. Black Panther, iconic. That's the reason we're doing this stream right now. So I don't even have to even go into why. Just that movie has impacted my life in so many amazing ways, and I love that movie to death. Into the Spider Verse. I love Into the Spider Verse. Into the Spider Verse was able to do something that hadn't been done in such a way. Take the comic book media and really show love letter and influence, and that be a fan of you can be a fan of comic books and further expand that media into animation and movies and tell a good story. So into Spider-Verse. Then I'd say the first Avengers movie. First Avengers movie, iconic. I love the first Avengers movie. What they were able to set up in that movie, the character dynamics, seeing all these characters having to work together to defeat a common enemy, and just the build up towards the Avengers too, I think was really nice. So that, and then the final movie. What would be my fifth movie? Hmm. I'd say Infinity War. Infinity War will probably be number five, just based off the fact of everybody knows where they were when Infinity War came out. When you went to the theater and you weren't expecting all these things going on. You weren't expecting the Avengers were going to lose, but the sheer fact that they lost was one of the most shocking, I say shocking, but also speechless moments, but also how it was done. I was so bummed out that Black Panther was dusted away. That hurt me more than Spider Man. And the Spider Man line, that hit me. But Black Panther just being dusted away after we legit just got him, that's what got me. And everybody in that theater after that movie came out, nobody said a word. It was just constant, just silence all throughout the theater. You heard a sniffle or two because people were still crying over what happened. But it was just one of those experiences where I was like, wow, the heroes really lost. And the emotion that they displayed and they gave the audience that same emotion you feel for them. You know they're going to come back in the next movie and win. But just knowing in this movie that they lost, it was one of those moments that, again, you played on emotion and you did it in such a way that felt earned. You know what I mean? It wasn't something that they just threw together. We had Thanos being teased throughout, and just what the way that it panned out was just a really great way. So again, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Black Panther. What else did I say? What else did I say? I said Captain America, Winter Soldier, Black Panther, Avengers. Avengers was up there. Avengers, Infinity War, and I think there's another movie I said. There's another movie I said, but I don't remember which one. So I kind of want to hear your guys' list. What are your top fives? I like Iron Man from 2008, because it made Iron Man one of them top tier heroes. Yeah, Iron Man, from my knowledge, has never really been one of those heroes that you see on that level. You know what I mean? But the way they were able to build up Iron Man throughout those movies, I think to me was a great way of taking a character that was kind of not really that well known or not really that much interest of, and building interest into them. It's like what James Gunn did with Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't know anything about Guardians of the Galaxy until the first movie came out. And when the first movie came out, I loved it. And now, how many movies have we had? We've had 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies. On top of that, a holiday special and a video game, which I love the video game. And it sucks that we're probably not going to get another one. But I love that game. And that's how you can really build upon these characters and do that. And even the same vein, tying it back into the topic with T'Challa, right? With Black Panther. I didn't know anything of Black Panther until the movie came out. A lot of people who, grew up with the comics, they knew that Black Panther first appeared in Fantastic Four. And then he went on to have his own comics. And yeah, Black Panther, he appeared in some animated series throughout the years and things of that nature. But he wasn't really what you call a character that people. The interest was there, but it just seemed like no one really took the time to execute it to make him a character that could go broader than just the small stuff that he was in. But the fact that, again, they were able to take that character and put him on the big screen, which, might I add, he's like $1 million profit. He's a $1 billion profit. That's big. There wasn't any extra, heroes that need to be in it. It was just him. And it was just a big cultural phenomenon, a big cultural experience. I said the story and I'll say it again. I was a junior in high school when the movie came out. So after the movie was done and seeing everybody cheer, and the next week going to school and seeing people wear daishikis and had the bead necklaces and doing Wakanda Forever in the hallways, that was such a big moment in my life because I had never seen a movie that made a character that looked like me, that wasn't a sidekick, that wasn't a stereotype, that wasn't trying to be a gangster or a drug dealer or a maid or a butler. It was nothing about that. This was a natural born leader. And that's why this character has so much of an impact over my life and a lot of other people's lives as well. And that's why we want this legacy to continue. And again, I hope Marvel can really sit down and really talk to people about why this character is such an importance. I know they're not, but it would be nice if Marvel could be sort of more into the community. And I'm not saying do everything the community does because the fandom isn't always right. No fandom is always right, and no fandom really fully knows what is the plan of what they should do because sometimes fans can get a little too into the fantasy booking of things, using a wrestling term, fantasy booking, and it doesn't always come out as a earned or a deserved story. It feels more like a fan fiction type thing. But when you also have someone who is a fan but also loves the source material and is respective to new ideas and taking new liberties, but also blending in the liberties of what makes that character so good is really good. I think you're really good as a writer, as a filmmaker, as a producer, and I just felt like the first film was able to capture that for young and old audiences. Everybody was going to see this movie. There's stories of churches and community events where people would just gather children and they would go to the theater and see this movie. I'll tell you another story. I went out for Halloween that year, and the amount of Black Panther costumes I saw children wearing, it brought a smile to my face because that's how you know, again, you have a movie with that impact. And when you have something special like that, you got to keep it going. You Miles Morales, are you saying if you're asking if I like Miles Morales, are you asking if I look like Miles Morales? Because if you're asked if I like Miles Morales, then your answer is yes, I do. I love Miles Morales, one of my favorite Marvel characters. There's so much that they're doing with Miles right now in the recent comics that I love. Even with that, like Miles is legit in Wakanda right now with T'Challa, and that's some of the dopest stuff that I love to see. Like I've always wanted to see them work together. And the fact that again they're in Wakanda because Miles has like a vampire sickness thing that he's going through right now, and he's going to Bast to try to see if he can cure it. And then we come to find out there's a legit spider god as well with Bast. And I'm like, oh snap, like Miles is not Peter Parker. He's never been a black Peter Parker. Like they're really going out of their way and really doing some different things and different liberties with Miles that just adds more to his mythology and why he's awesome as his own Spider-Man. He doesn't need to be a Peter Parker. He doesn't need to be a Ben Riley. He doesn't need to be a Miguel O'Hara. He can be himself, and that's what makes Miles Morales so dope. Let's do an old man Black Panther. Have him casted by Denzel Washington. Again, they could go that route, but I don't want that personally. Because again, with that you have to cast someone who's young. You have to cast an actor who can play the character for again at least 10 to 20 years. I just don't think Denzel is gonna be in the. He could be. He could be in the MCU. But with Denzel saying that he may retire after a couple movies, I feel like his role in Black Panther 3 might be a one and done. I don't know. I don't know for sure. So I don't know. I don't really like that idea. But yeah, you can dream about it. It's one of those like what if scenarios. Okay, for you, Prince Purse, you said number one, in game, two, Age of Ultron, 3 Civil War, 4 Infinity War. I know there's a lot of comments. I'm gonna catch up with you guys in a second. I'm gonna get to everybody's comments. He is a good YouTuber and streamer, like you, man. Okay, well, I'll check him out. I'll check him out because I know you guys have been mentioning Anthony a lot, so I'll check out his content. Jamie Snowden is someone else you mentioned too, so I'll check those guys out and see what kind of content they do. Nice one, Carter. You guys are chatting. 5 Captain America Winter Soldier. I think my favorite was Avengers Age of Ultron. Yeah, Age of Ultron was good too. I think Ultron I think Ultron is a very underrated villain in the MCU. Him and the High Evolutionary. I feel like the High Evolutionary doesn't get talked about enough. But the actor who played the High Evolutionary, what he was able to bring to that role, oh my goodness. Like the High Evolutionary was a guy you did not want to mess with. Also, he was in Peacemaker. I don't know if he's going to be in the second season of Peacemaker. I think his character got. Did his character die? I feel like his character died, but I don't know. Because with the DCU, they could do something with that. Maybe retcon it. Maybe he didn't die. So we'll have to see what Peacemaker season 2 is gonna do. Maybe they'll bring him back. My second favorite Marvel movie is Captain America, the First Avenger, since he is my second favorite Marvel hero and Avenger. Oh, that's dope. Yeah, the First Avenger has a lot of charm to it. And you can really tell off that movie, like they were really trying to figure out like a clear vision for Marvel. But them just going with let's do Captain America. And then kind of teasing towards the end like okay, there's more heroes that we're going to add to this. And then going with Iron Man and you know going further into that is kind of what led us to this point. But you can really tell then like they really didn't have it all figured out as far as what they were going to do. I said this many times in my streams and I say it all the time, but I'll say it again. I really do feel like if Marvel, and this is a what if scenario, if Marvel had owned all of its properties, like I'm talking your X-Men, your Fantastic Four, your Hulk, I really do think the lineup for the phases would have been significantly different. Like we would have had like maybe a Captain America, a Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, maybe some tease to X-Men. Like I feel like we would have had that, from the beginning to kind of give off like there's more to like there's a much wider Marvel universe. But again, due to Marvel not being able to have ownership over certain properties and stuff, not given the opportunity to really go all out like you want to. Even if Marvel Studios recast T'Challa, Black Panther isn't going to reach the heights of the first box office, no matter what the audience wants. I mean, you don't. I mean, you could say that, but also at the same time, if it's done properly, I think it can. I think it could reach the same amount, or who knows, even more than the first. If they go with again different story liberties and different ways to go about it, I think it could make the same amount. But again, like I said, Hollywood is all about taking risk, and just seeing where it goes. So although, like I said, Kevin, you make a point, but again, that's the point of Hollywood. You won't know until you try. Wanda Maximoff. Is that your favorite character? Are you saying Scarlett Johansson? Well, isn't she doing a project with Marvel? They haven't really talked too much about it, but I heard her doing Phantom Blonde or something like that she's working on. But I don't know if that's still happening or if that was just a rumor. Might have just been a rumor. Dude, have you met any celebs? I have not. I actually did see Adam Sandler though. I was on an eighth grade field trip, and I think he was filming a movie, and I had actually legit seen him, and I wanted to go like over and talk to him like so bad, but my teachers wouldn't let me do it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like Adam Sandler is legit right there. You won't let me get like at least 5 seconds to just say hey to him. So that was like a really like bum opportunity that I didn't get a chance to experience because it would have been cool to have had Adam Sandler like be my first ever celeb appearance, but I haven't really met a celebrity yet, and if I do, I want it to be something where it doesn't come off like I'm a fanboy or anything because I don't like to look at celebrities in that light. Like seeing celebrities is cool. It's dope. Like I want to ask them questions about their journey. I want to ask them, what was it like for them to, get their rise to fame. I don't want to do like, oh my God, you're this, you're my favorite actor, you're my movie, and I watch all your movies all the time. Like I don't want to do that. Like I want to be myself. I want to be chill around them, and I want them to feel like they don't have to be uncomfortable around me because of their success. I would feel the same way if any of you guys met me on the street. You just so happen to bump into me. Like, don't be afraid. Like, if you see me, come up to me. Like, speak to me. Say what's up. I'll talk to you, and we can have a good conversation. Like, I'm not someone who, puts on a facade or a character, you know, around people or tries to make things awkward. Like, I want you to like talk to me. I want you to like, have a conversation with me and feel comfortable around me. Like, I don't want things to be awkward. So I've always had that in mind. So I want you guys to feel like that. But Scarlett Johansson, I could see Scarlett Johansson maybe coming back for something. You get a lot of views. I'd say it's decent. I'm not really in it for the views. The views are nice. It's nice, but I'm not really here for the views. I'm here for you guys. I'm here for just chatting with you guys and just keeping it real. If the Amazing Spider-Man 2 did not flop, we could have gotten Amazing Spider-Man 3. Yeah, I think it could have happened. I heard that there was at one point that Marvel had thought about having Andrew Garfield be the Spider-Man for the MCU. I did hear about that being a rumor, and I wonder how would that have played out. Like again, it's one of those what if scenarios that you think about in your head. That what if that had happened? What if he had joined the Avengers? I definitely don't think he would have teamed with Cap though. I meant with Iron Man. I feel like Andrew Garfield would have definitely teamed with Captain America. I just feel like personally he would resonate with Captain America more, in my opinion, over Iron Man. Shaq is an awesome celeb. Oh, so you've met Shaq before, Parker. Well, let me know about Shaq. Is he a cool guy? I know he's tall, that's for sure. But is he a cool guy? I'm sure he's funny. I'm sure he's a funny guy. Him and Chris Charles Barkley, when they're talking NBA, their back and forth is so funny. And my third favorite Marvel movie is Ant Man because it's my first exposure to Scott Lang. See, and that's I know sometimes we can be critical about Marvel and about some of the things that they do, story wise and liberty wise. But what's so cool about Marvel is that these movies have gave exposure to a lot of characters that some had no knowledge of, unless again you just so happen to, read a comic or maybe see them from a cartoon. That's kind of where you can get some knowledgeability of that character. But for some people, like I said, some of these movies are new to a lot of people, so they're getting introduced to these characters. So now this gives them the opportunity to say, okay, um, I gotta look up on Google what are the best comic runs for these characters. What runs do I need to read? What runs do I need to stay away from? Things like that. And It just adds more. It just adds more discovery. Were you born in 2004? No, I was actually born 2001. So the start of the decade, technically start of the decade. Have you seen Shaq life? Shaq in real life? No, I haven't. But I hope to meet Shaq one day. That would be cool. Scott Lang, Ant Man. He was the second Ant Man after Hank Pym. Yeah. What's up, HCC? What's up? Did your barber die? Funny. No, my barber, he's quite alive actually. He's on vacation. So yeah, that's where he's at. But I get what you're saying. I do need a haircut to be fair. I'm not gonna lie, so I get it. Did you ever get electrocuted? No. Why would I do that? Why would that happen? You talking about y'all talking about my hair. Like, come on now. It's a flat top. People still wear flat tops. It's still a common thing. Ed Brubaker's Captain America. You should check it out. Is that the comic run? So I should check out Ed Brubaker's comic book run for Captain America. Okay, I'll check it out. If you guys have any comic suggestions as well, definitely let me know because I'm always looking for new comics to read. Yeah, man, gotta look fresh. Yeah, I get it. I haven't had the time. I've been busy with work and everything else and stuff. Looks like you were hanging upside down. I know. It's the hair. It's the hair. Like I said, I'm gonna get a haircut. You read DC Comics? Yes, I do. Actually, you talk about DC Comics. I've been reading Watchmen. Now, I've read Watchmen before. I've seen the Watchmen motion comic. I binge watched that on Max too. But reading through Watchmen, and man, I tell you, I love this story. I love the story of Watchmen. A lot of realistic elements of things that happened during a time, with war and things like that. So they do play into a lot of realistic things that have happened. But the way that they do it is just, it's really cool. And then I have this, which I love supporting comic book artists. And Gabriel Piccolo, if you guys have seen him do a lot of his Teen Titans uh, work online, he's a really good artist. I definitely recommend him. I got Starfire. I also have a Beast Boy and Raven over there too. But I love this. And look at that. It's your boy. They legit have your boy in there. So it's a really cool comic. I definitely recommend it. Like I said, I love supporting comic book artists and stuff. Yeah, Cyborg. Your boy Cyborg. Which I hope they do. I hope they do one for Cyborg because I would love to read one about him. Did you read Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow? I've read some of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, but I haven't finished it. But so far from what I've read, I like it. I really do. I like it. And I can understand why James Gunn, and like I said, I can understand why James Gunn chose that story to do for Supergirl. I definitely understand. It's a good thing you are not doing tarot card readings. I would never do those. I would never do those. I don't like tarot cards. I have playing cards though. I got playing cards, but I would never do tarot cards. I'm excited for the movie. Yeah, I'm excited too. Like I said, DC has some things that I'm really do intrigue me. Like I said, Superman. Like I said, I'm hoping Superman does well. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Obviously, Lanterns. John Stewart, like we legit are gonna have John Stewart, and it looks like he might be the leading Green Lantern in the DCU, and I'm excited about that. Swamp Thing, I'm excited for because I love the horror aspect of certain liberties, and thinking about Marvel, I'm hoping that Marvel will really dive into the horror element of the MCU even more. They've dived into it some with Werewolf by Night, with Moon Knight, but I hope they dive even further into it. You could count Agatha in that too. That's kind of, well, Agatha's more of like the magic side, so I don't know if you could maybe count that, but there's some things there that they are teasing up to because we do have Ghost Rider's cousin in Agatha. So we do know that there is a Ghost Rider out there. We just haven't seen him yet. But I really do feel like they're gonna build upon that in the next saga. Obviously, we're gonna have the X-Men, but I feel like they're gonna build upon the Midnight Suns. That's something they're gonna build towards. And that's why if you're going to do Blade, you need to do Blade right. And to make up for all the time that Mahershala Ali has waited, Blade needs to be the prominent figure of the Midnight Suns. He needs to be the guy. You need to build him up, and I hope they do that. Yeah, whole YouTube life full of it. Yeah, I'll definitely do a live stream for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, talking about that when that movie gets around or when we get a trailer for it. I think they start filming this month, right? They start filming this month. I did see a report earlier. David Corn Sweat was reportedly in the location or somewhere in where they're filming Supergirl. So maybe we get a Superman cameo in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which would make sense because again, this is a universe that's already been established. Like there is no doing origin stories. I feel like these characters are well into the development of their hero journeys. So yeah. And honestly, thinking about that, with Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars, I feel like Marvel could kind of do that too. If they wanted to, they could kind of have maybe after Secret Wars, maybe a time skip, maybe a couple years have passed. And maybe we have a lot of the characters already established. Like, there's going to be some already established from the past universe, but maybe some that have just entered this universe. They're already established, so they don't need to do the origin stories and stuff like they would maybe some new characters that they introduce. So maybe they could do something like that. Only time will tell. But yeah, what are you guys thinking? What do you guys think about the topic of today? I'm probably going to be on for like an hour and a half. I won't be on too long because last time was like close to 3 hours, but this time around it's going to be like an hour and a half. But I kind of just, again, want to get your guys' thoughts. Some of the new people coming in. What do you guys think about Recast T'Challa? Do you guys like the idea of a possible recast? Who would you guys like to see recasted? Uh, be the new actor? What storylines would you like to see? I would definitely love to see now that, after Secret Wars and stuff, we are going to get the X Men. I would love to see them build upon the relationships with the X Men with other hero characters like a Black Panther and Storm, a Hank McCoy and a Wonder Man. These characters, which shout out to Marvel Fan, which I'm surprised Marvel Fan hasn't been around. He's been kind of not around a while, but Marvel Fan was the one that told me that Hank McCoy and Wonder Man are like friends in the comics and stuff. So that'd be cool. Like I said, there's a lot of interactions and stuff they can do moving past this multiverse saga that I think a lot of people could get excited for. But again, it's just a matter of how they do it. And that's, again, with anything. It's just a matter of how they do it. Oh, that's something I want to talk about. I don't know if you guys have seen the report, but there was a report earlier about a Hulk versus Wolverine movie that was being discussed. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but I saw that earlier today, and I kind of like, hmm. I mean, there had been talks about something similar like that a while ago, but it seems like talks have kind of revved back up again about that. So I don't know if there are any plans for that. I could see that happening, maybe, like the multiverse. Definitely after the multiverse saga, I feel like we could definitely see that, like the mutant saga for sure. Um, so we'll have to see. I don't know if they're gonna cast a new Wolverine. I feel like they need to cast a new Wolverine because Hugh Jackman can't play that character forever. Even though they made the joke in the movie, he can play the character until he's 90, but still, I think they need a new actor for Wolverine. Just a full on new cast of actors for the X-Men and young actors, characters that we can grow with and see their development and just their story, because for a lot of people who grew up reading the X-Men comics and stuff, from the start when they got the introduction to the first slate of characters, like your Cyclops and your Jean Grey and your Iceman and those characters, right? Your Angel as well. Well, Archangel, but I think he's Angel now. But and then we get new members. We get a Jubilee, we get a Gambit, we get a Storm. Like we get all of that. I don't know if they're gonna do that. I could see them going the route with doing like the iconic group, like the Jim Lee era X Men, Chris Claremont, like your Cyclops, your Jean Grey, your Wolverine, your Jubilee, your Gambit, your Rogue, your Storm, your Beast. Like I could see them doing that lineup because that's a lineup that people are familiar with. But I could also see them doing a different lineup where it's some characters that we know, but also some X Men characters that haven't really had the exposure, quite yet. So it's only a matter of time what they decide to do with the mutants and stuff. But I just hope they really do like put some time into the mutant saga and really think about as far as what stories and what creative liberties they can take with the X-Men, because the X-Men is a very popular group. I'd argue, to me, the X-Men are more relatable than the Avengers, and that's no disrespect to the Avengers, but for me, I always clinged on to the X-Men because of the stories, and a lot of a lot of those X-Men stories relate to certain things that have happened to me in my life, because I've always felt like an outcast. And the X-Men resonate well with me because they were like outcast as well. So all automatically that kind of gave me that relation to them. Like I felt for them. And I hope they play into that. Like don't make try to make them like these characters that instill in with the human characters. You know what I mean? Like actually show like no, these characters are legit lonely. They legit want to be loved and appreciated, and they do as best as they can for their race and to protect others as well. It's not an easy journey for them. It's never been an easy journey for the X-Men. And that's why to me that's what makes those characters so great, is that each one has their own separate story but ties into the big X family. And I think that's one of the reasons why last year projects like X-Men 97, projects like Deadpool and Wolverine made such a big impact, for that years because people have been wanting the X-Men. People want to see the X-Men in the MCU. People want to see X-Men projects. And now we're getting that. We're getting a Wolverine game, whenever that decides to come out. I'm sure it's been delayed because of the hacks and stuff like that have happened, but we're getting a Wolverine game. Marvel Rivals, there's X-Men characters in Marvel Rivals, which is crazy to think about because if you would have asked someone 5 years ago, like there's gonna be a game where you can play as X-Men characters, I think I think people would have not taken you seriously because like X-Men, come on, Fantastic Four being introduced in like season one of Marvel Rivals, get out of here, that ain't never happening, and it's happened, and they're still adding more characters and I'm not going to say too much, but there are some exciting characters that I have kind of seen that are coming that I'm looking forward to. So Marvel Rivals again, very successful. I feel like it's a very successful property for Marvel because again, people in the video game realm who maybe play those kind of games like a Overwatch. I've never really played Overwatch before, so it's never really been something that I'm familiar with. But people who are a part of that Overwatch, community, those shooter games and things of that nature, right? Like they're getting introduced to these characters, and that just adds even more repertoire for Marvel to do more projects with these characters and other characters. So yeah, still was gonna leave at like an hour 30. It's already an hour and a half. So if you guys have like any more comments, questions, things like that, definitely let your voice be heard because I'm gonna get off in about like a. I'll go like 140. I'll go to like 140. So if anyone has any more comments or anything they like to say, definitely let me know. And for those who are watching this on replay, if you're just checking out the stream, how do you feel about Recast T'Challa? How do you feel about a possible recast if it is happening? If the report does come out to be true, who would you like to see cast? What stories would you like to see going forward? And how would you introduce T'Challa back into the MCU? How would you do it? So yeah. Well, yeah, I could also say this. So also I got to bring this up. Anybody, if anyone lives in California, um, thoughts and prayers to you guys over there. The big wildfire that's going on. I have a lot of friends over in Cali, and just talking to them, some of them have actually had to evacuate their homes due to the fires going on over there. So if anyone is in California right now, my thoughts and prayers are with you, your family, and everyone. And I hope you can, get to somewhere safe and just be there for your family and just tell your family that you love them because tomorrow's never promised and sometimes it's the small things that make you appreciate life a lot more like family and friends and things of that nature, so don't ever take those things for granted because they matter. But again, my thoughts and prayers with you all over there, as well as people who are dealing with, snowstorms, winter storms as well. I know some of those have been going on. Some friends that I've talked to in other places like Indiana, they've gotten snow and things like that, and their power has been out for a couple days. Some have just gotten their power back on. So again, thoughts and prayers to just everybody. It seems like it's a hard time, but nothing we can't handle, nothing we can't get through. It'll all work out um, in the favor of life. Also, if you guys haven't, I've done some videos as well. I posted two videos yesterday. One was about Max, removing a lot of Cartoon Network shows, Adult Swim shows, and things of that nature off the platform. It's a very disappointing thing, and there's a list that of potential other shows that could get removed if Max decides not to renew the license for those animated series to stay on the platform. So definitely check that out. Check that video out, share it. Bring more knowledge of the situation. And I also did a video yesterday as well for Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. There are some things in there, some potential code names and working titles that the show has had that tease to some really interesting things if it does come out that way. That I think you might be interested in if you are interested in the show or just kind of want to hear my thoughts about, what I think about that the reveals that could be. So definitely check those videos out. I don't think I have. I do have a video that I'm going to be working on tomorrow. I think is going to be a nice one for those who are Amazing World of Gumball fans. This is a thought process idea I've had for a while. So I think you guys are going to like that. There might be another video that I might do on Friday, but if I don't do another video, I might possibly do another stream this week, especially with the finale of Creature Commandos, because I definitely do want to talk about Creature Commandos as a whole, because I think the show has just been really good. So if I do decide to do a stream, be on the lookout for that. And yeah, that's it. That's really kind of what I've been working on lately. What you can look forward to. Like I said, this year is going to be great. It's going to be a great year for I think YouTube as a whole, for other creators, for new creators. I think it's just going to be a great year. And like I said, got a lot of things. I have a lot of things in store for this year. Is what I'm trying to say. And I think you guys are going to like it. I think you guys are going to be excited to see where this journey goes. And yeah, so that's it. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Even if it was just 1 second to just watch the stream, thank you. It's really appreciated. I love doing this. I love being able to talk with you guys and discuss, these different topics that we have. And I wish I could do it more, but my schedule doesn't always isn't always flexible enough for me to do it. But if I had the opportunity to do more stuff, I would. And I am still working on other things to try to get more interactive with you guys. So, like I said, be on the lookout. Some great things coming. Really excited to see where the channel goes. Looking back, maybe a year or two from now, the channel anniversary is coming up. January 27th is when I uploaded my first video to YouTube. So January 27th will be 3 years since I've started YouTube, which is crazy to think about. I've been doing this for 3 years, and just the amount of growth and quality and time that I've put into it, and the amount of people that I've met along the way through this journey has just been really amazing, and I'm excited to see where we go next. So we're nearing the end. Like I said, I'm gonna end this at an hour and 40. So thank you all so much for tuning into the stream, showing love and support. Like I said, I got some videos out if you guys want to check those videos out. And yeah, let me know down below. Recast T'Challa is still strong. I'm still gonna be a supporter of Recast T'Challa. That ain't going anywhere until we see T'Challa on the big screen, until we see him. You know, those stories continue with that character because that character's too big to pass up to just end it. So that's how I feel about it. I don't want to keep repeating myself. So thank you all so much. As I always say in my streams, if you have something that you want to do, go for it. Be the best you can be. Do it better and bigger than anything you can ever imagine, because you can do it. And big love to you all, and peace out.